Ukraine is building a ballistic missile that can reach Moscow. Engine testing this month, flight trials next, serial production already being prepared. The designer's shortlist of targets: the Kremlin, Putin's bunker, the Ministry of Defense. Ukraine has spent 3 years absorbing Russian missiles. It is now building the means to send them back. Ukraine may be moving closer to fielding a domestically developed ballistic missile capable of reaching Moscow. In an interview published with journalist Alessia Batsman, Firepoint co-founder Denys Shtilerman said the Ukrainian defense company expects to complete engine testing this month before moving to flight trials of a new long-range missile.
Unique footage from testing the new Ukrainian air defense system.
Ukraine and Europe will have their own air defense system that no one can remotely turn off.
How much will the Ukrainian equivalent of the Patriot cost?
We will be able to conduct the first interceptions of our air defense ballistics this year.
How can I find out everything at once? There is one way.
This summer, Ukrainian ballistic missiles will fly to Moscow. They will destroy Putin's bunker, the Kremlin, and the Ministry of Defense. Ukraine has 2 options: learn to intercept Russian ballistic missiles and hit key targets in Moscow. Then, in exchange is possible the security of their infrastructure for ours. Russia is losing, which is why it intimidates the civilian population.
According to Shtilerman, the missile's airframe, guidance systems, and other critical components have already been completed, making engine validation the final major stage before launch testing. The company is simultaneously preparing for serial production rather than waiting for the testing phase to conclude. According to Shtilerman, Firepoint plans to manufacture between 10 and 20 missiles for testing, with production potentially expanding once the system receives official approval from Ukrainian authorities. While operational targeting decisions would ultimately rest with Ukraine's military command, Shtilerman suggested that strikes against symbolic targets in Moscow could serve as a deterrent against continued Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. The announcement comes as Kyiv accelerates efforts to develop indigenous long-range strike capabilities amid a protracted war that has increasingly extended beyond the front lines. Separately, Firepoint is also working on a missile defense initiative known as FREYJA, a joint Ukrainian-European project aimed at intercepting Russian ballistic missiles. The company says its FP7.X interceptor is capable of reaching speeds of up to 2,000 meters per second and uses infrared guidance to track incoming threats. On June 3rd, Firepoint announced what it described as a successful test flight of the FP7.X missile, releasing footage that showed a controlled maneuvering flight. Firepoint Chief Technology Officer Irina Terek said the project is intended to reduce Ukraine's dependence on foreign-supplied air defense interceptors at a time when shortages remain a persistent challenge.
No matter how unrealistic and ambitious this goal may sound today, we are exerting all possible and impossible efforts to make it a reality as soon as possible, so that Ukraine can close its skies on its own.
According to the company, European radar and command and control manufacturers are already participating in the FREYJA project, with deployment timelines dependent on further integration with international partners. If successful, the parallel development of offensive ballistic missiles and indigenous missile defense systems would mark a significant expansion of Ukraine's domestic defense industrial capabilities as the war with Russia continues. Ukrainian forces have fielded another example of battlefield improvisation, this time an improvised multiple-launch rocket system built on a BMW sedan. A recent video posted on the Ukrainian forces' official military-based social media platform shows the vehicle, identified by analysts as a BMW 7 Series E38, firing a 122mm Grad-type rocket toward Russian positions. According to the military documentation reviewed by defense analysts, The German sedan appears in dark paint with 3 BM-21 Grad launch tubes rigidly mounted at the rear. The tubes are angled to elevate over the trunk, turning the civilian car into a light MLRS platform. Unlike the standard 40-tube BM-21, this setup carries only a small cluster, optimized for single-strike harassment fire rather than saturation bombardment. According to reports, these sedan-mounted launchers have been linked in past footage to Ukrainian territorial defense units, including the 137th Territorial Defense Battalion and the 114th Territorial Defense Brigade, both active in sectors around Bakhmut and Klishchivka. Their task is simple: drive to a concealed point, fire a short burst, then immediately reposition before Russian counter-battery radars or drones can react. Ukrainian soldiers have reportedly used similar improvisations throughout the war, adapting civilian chassis not only to extend mobility, but also to preserve scarce standard artillery systems from Russian detection. Improvised launchers like this BMW trade protection and precision for surprise, speed, and low signature. A civilian sedan, especially one blending into traffic, presents a much smaller visual and thermal footprint compared to a Grad truck, making it harder for Russian drones to identify and engage after firing. However, Ukrainian crews operating these systems reportedly accept significant risks. Stabilization is minimal, the crew is unprotected, and aiming is largely manual. Still, the platform's value lies in mobility, not accuracy. An earlier version of this concept emerged in mid-2023, when Ukrainian units modified a BMW 3 Series sedan to fire unguided rockets near Bakhmut. According to Ukrainian military assessments, those rockets were likely repurposed BM-21 tubes or munitions stripped from downed Russian helicopters, forming a compact shoot-and-scoot launcher used by territorial defense forces. That earlier system became the template for subsequent adaptations, including the new BMW 7 Series variant seen in recent footage, and reflects a broader Ukrainian strategy, using whatever chassis is available to extend indirect fire reach in areas where standard artillery is insufficient or too vulnerable to Russian counter-battery drones.